Well, me and Ed actually have been playing together for like 15 years. We're both from Buffalo. He moved up here a while ago. We were in a band together back then. We actually kind of started playing together. We just wanted to write music and, be in a band, and somehow down the line we both ended up back here in Arizona and kind of started it again.
I moved here 9 years ago and looked all over for bands, and it wasn't until he moved out about 5 years ago now?
Yeah.
6 years ago?
Yeah.
Whatever it was. Played with a bunch of other people, and then it wasn't until he moved out that we started playing together and playing original music again.
Yeah, and I wasn't even looking for a band, to be honest. I mean, I was looking for a 12-string guitar, and so I answered an ad, that Ed put on Craigslist, and I went over to Eric's house, or Eric and Ed's house, because Eric and Ed were living together at the time, and just kind of struck up a conversation with Eric, and we started talking about music, and I checked out the guitar a little bit. And,
guitar is not my first instrument.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, so what is your first instrument? Like, oh, I'm a drummer. Like, oh, we need a drummer. We just fired our drummer.
Fired our drummer like a couple days prior to that.
So they were like, hey, why don't you come by this weekend for
hang out,
jam, and after that, I mean, that was it, really.
That's it. And then we had a violinist with us who has since moved away, moved back to Colorado, his hometown, for his family.
Yep.
And we've been playing as a three-piece since, with a little extra here and there, and
yeah, we have another violin that kind of plays with us sometimes, and but pretty much the three of us are the kind of the core of the operation.
I guess I'm mostly influenced by just songwriters, like Cat Stevens, Tom Petty, Dave Matthews. I just, I like the acoustic kind of sound, even though we started, I was always playing acoustic, and I've since gotten electric, and it's, but it's kind of the type of music I always loved listening to,
I grew up being kind of a hair metal kind of guy,
which is funny,
which is kind of funny. And my biggest influence was, growing up, once I started playing guitar, was the Goo Goo Dolls, which were from Buffalo, and it was a Buffalo band, and that's who I kind of started listening to, and got my phone going off in my pocket.
That doesn't sound like a hair metal song, man.
And so, that was my big influence, and then a bunch of hair metal, Poison, Warrant, and all that kind of stuff. And then I got into a lot of the singer-songwriters and the classic rock, and then just kind of expanded from there once I hit college and started expanding rather than, just being pigeonholed into one thing.
Yeah, I used to listen to a lot of classic rock, a lot of Led Zeppelin. But then once I got into college, I kind of got into more grunge music, a lot of Pearl Jam, kind of that Seattle sound. And all through the 90s, it's been pretty much that. I think, when I kind of listen to myself, the way I play, and, I can compare it a little bit to, some of the jazz drummers that I've been listening to lately, as well as you can kind of hear a lot of that metal influence that I had, when I was a younger kid. I had this monstrous drum set and, double bass and all these toms and these ridiculous number of cymbals, and I wanted to play metal, and it was, some of that is still around, but I think for the most part it's kind of more of like a 90s plus some Blind Melon and maybe some Dave Matthews a little bit, but that kind of...
Well, I think our influences kind of describe our sound, that we started a lot with the acoustic type sound, and that it's so hard to pigeonhole our sound into one genre. I used to call it acoustic rock because he played an acoustic guitar, and then we filled in the sound with everything else. Right. But now I call it dynamic rock because of our changes. We do a lot of tempo changes, lots of starts and stops and ups and downs, and building a song and dropping it out, and almost the theatrical aspect of it a little bit, because we're building a sound and then dropping it down and then building it back up.
We don't dress up like Kiss or anything. So.
Yeah, not that kind of theatrics.
Not yet.
Hey now.
I think right now we play every Wednesday night at Long Wong's, and
Apache here.
Right here on Apache. It's one of the it's a great place for local music. We played at Lost Leaf.
Yeah, we play at Lost Leaf.
We got 2 shows coming up at Lost Leaf.
Yeah, we
dates.
got on September 18th and October 8th, or is it 9th?
I don't remember. Check out our website.
Yeah.
What's left?
I suddenly forgot, but it's October 8th. It's October 8th for sure. So that's a great little venue. It's downtown. It's got a different feel to it. It's really small, very intimate. But so there's the people that go there really, really like live music.
Yeah,
same thing with Long Wong's. When you walk into Long Wong's, Jack, who kind of runs the sound over there, he comes from Last Exit. Last Exit used to be a really big, few years ago, with the Black Moods and Vaden and all those guys. And you can really feel that Jack is trying to build a live music scene.
He's kind of trying to revive the tradition that Long Wong's had when
Right,
it was down on Mill Ave before it got shut down years ago. When the Refreshments and the Gin Blossoms and Jimmy Eat World and everybody else that made it from the Tempe music scene, they all played down at Long Wong's on Mill Ave, and now that vibe has changed to the one that's on Apache now.
Yeah, it's like a big family down there.
Yeah.
And
Everybody
all
knows
the musicians
everybody.
hang out
Yeah,
there.
good
Everybody
place to
knows
play.
everybody. It's a great place.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, and when I saw Victor Wooten on the bass, it might have been one of the sickest things I ever seen. I don't know if you listen to much of them, but man, they can just draw you in. I mean, it's just all music. There's no singing really at all, and I don't know. It's I would have to say that's up there with me.
My first show ever was Poison, and whether you love them, whether you hate them, they put on a show. They show up and they're there. They put on a show. They do the theatrics. They're running around the stage. It looks like they're having a good time. When I went from Poison into more the Goo Goo Dolls era, they looked like they were friends, like they were having a conversation with each other on stage. They talked back and forth. And then I moved on to things like Peter Gabriel is my favorite concert I've ever seen, ever. Absolutely phenomenal. Every song tells a story, and every song is like live there in front of you. He does amazing things on stage. Riding bicycles, boats, a big gerbil type ball rolling around on stage and doing things upside down, and it's trippy.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know if I have a favorite. There have been 3 that I can think of that have been really, makes me continue to want to do music and just give me that feeling that I get when I'm on stage. And that is Fish, Rush, and Tori Amos. Now, my first Fish show was crazy. Like, I didn't know much about the band, and just watching them play and watching the crowd's response and just the swells and just the way that they have just control over the energy in the room, even when the room is this huge lawn. And it's just unbelievable. Rush, of course, I'm a Neil Peart fan. I'm a drummer. It's cliche, but he's just a really
Percussion.
Yeah, he's a really great musician. They're all really great musicians. Their show is theatrics. It's a production. It's a real production. They're playing. The 3 guys in that band make such an enormous sound, and it's just really, really good. And then Tori Amos, she sits there with a piano, and it's just her and the piano, and you feel like you're sitting in her living room, listening to her sing these songs for the first time, and like she's singing them right to you. And like that kind of energy that you get with that crowd and that person playing that song at that time, it's never going to be like that again. It's going to be different every time they play it, and you want to be a part of that experience. And that's what I like about playing music and playing live shows. No matter what time we're playing, no matter who's there, it's always an experience. The energy is always a little bit different, and it's never going to be that same way
It's
again.
a one-off show, and
It'll be similar.
it'll never be the same.
We'll play the same songs. People will, react to them in similar ways, but the energy that is created in the room is going to be unique every single time.
Check out What's Left, phx.com. What's Left, phx like Phoenix.com. And I believe we're the same on Facebook.
On Facebook, it's facebook.com/whats.left. And then you can go to MySpace if you really want to. myspace.com/what'sleftphx.
We're on Twitter.
Pretty much
we
you
are
get
on
anything
Twitter.
from our website. Though,
Yeah, twitter.com/what'sleftphx.
Our calendar's on our website.
Yep. Calendar's on our
calendar.
website. Pictures. There's video from actually an acoustic show that we did at Extreme Bean.
We got a show coming up at Extreme Bean on October 29th.
Yep.
Completely acoustic.
Yep, just like we're going to be doing at Dos Gringos.
Like we're going to be doing at Dos Gringos.
Yeah, it's a fun little thing we've been doing. He just plays the kick drum and has a snare, and then plays acoustic guitar with me, and then
Yep.
He drums and plays the guitar.
Yeah, I got a drum and a tambourine, and then guitar in my hand, and